Word Life 1, the Giant Killer, D.L. Smith. One more time, bringing you the real, bringing you the rawness straight out of the Word of God, but most of all, encouragement and empowerment for everyone who's in listening range and in watching range. God bless to everybody right here, right now. But on the real side of things, y'all, been having to do a redo of Grand Order Business Part 2. So this is the revisit. So everybody know from the prior episodes, the previous episodes, and also from the Part 3. But on the revisit tip, we all know about the fear God and keep the commandments. We all know about the 1 to 10. We all know about the thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not commit adultery. All these different things that we know about. But we also know that from the teacher, from the word of Ecclesiastes 12, we all know that everything is meaningless. Meaning that if it's got some sort of material value or some sort of man-made activity to go along with it, then, you know what I mean, if God is not included in the ordeal or the situation, we all know that it's meaningless. Solomon put that down in a heartbeat to let all the people know in Israel and Judah, the people, the chosen ones. He let everybody know that all has been seen, all has been heard. But the main thing to do is to fear God and to keep the commandments. And we all know that the Lord Yahshua, Yahweh, Jesus, comes back later on to say that this is what it really is. It's really about you already knowing the 10. You already know about the thou, thou, thou. You already know about all that. He said, but here's the greatest commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And the second is like unto it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Who is your neighbor, you might ask? It's that person that you don't know. It's that person that may be with you at all times, but it may also very well be that person that you're not with always. The one that might be suffering from some sort of ordeal. You may not know them from Adam's house cat. You may not even know them, but through your prayers, through your praise to God, to all your honor due to him, all these things cover your neighbor. But love is the main covering. Love is the greatest commandment. Love is the one thing that is the foundation, the sole foundation to everything that you're trying to do within your love walk, within your direction that you're trying to go in or whatever. And even if you're not in that direction, I challenge you today to try something new, try something better. Come and taste from the waters right here, because this right here is definitely something that the world may need to hear. You know what I mean? Everybody may not agree with it, but I guarantee you, if you give it a try and try with all your heart to do whatever it is that you have to do, hey man, you might see some of the greatest changes in your life. But on the main side of things though, this is what it's all about. Love your neighbor as yourself, but then the deeper part is to love your enemies. Now you may ask, how in the world do I do that? How am I gonna even try to maintain with somebody that might have taken from me, stolen from me, did dirt to me, slept with my man, slept with my woman, this, that, and the third? How do I do that? Well, it's never easy, you know what I mean, to have art with your brother. It's never easy. It's never easy to try to do that on your own. But if you do it with God as your backbone and as your foundation, and knowing that, you know what I mean, you're trying to change your life, it's never going to be easy to love your enemies, because your enemies are therefore of the enemy. So how do you do that? You do that by crafting God's love in your heart. You have to become of a like mind of him, to, you know what I mean? And the only way you can do that is to read this word. Get 66 books of power and prosperity in your life. That's the only way you're going to be able to maintain. Meanwhile, through prayer and consideration, and by letting God handle it, by letting the Most High handle it instead of yourself, and backing up from it, and letting him do whatever it is that he got to do, then guess what? It's already taken care of, and the victory will forever be yours. You can never be a loser. Not when you're in the kingdom of God. Not when you establish by the love of God, who is love, if I might add. So you can never lose here, people. You can never lose. It is a sweatless victory. It's a victory that you ain't even got to put your hand up to. It ain't even something that you got to just put all your body and soul into. It's all left up to him. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can say, you can breathe, you can look at it and laugh later on. Because the grand order of business is to fear God, keep the commandments. But yo, check this out right here. Just to let y'all know on the end point of this right here. Every act that we do, everybody, the whole world, everybody, in Ecclesiastes 12 and 14, it goes down, and this is the end point. For God will bring every deed into judgment, all your hidden deeds, every hidden deed, whether it was good, whether it was evil, will be brought into judgment. Now, you might say, well, your good is your good. You might give. You might give to the poor. You might feed the hungry. You might do whatever it is that you have to do. But if your heart is not connected to the one who is of good and is the greatest, then guess what? All your good is in vain. That's just short, just as blunt as I can put it. You know what I'm saying? And most of all, evil is evil straight up. If you commit the crime, if you do the time, if you go back in the pen and do it again, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing the same old thing, this is insanity. If you're doing the same things over and over and over again, guess what? That is insanity. Evil is evil, period. Whether it be the dope dealing, whether it be the prostituting, whether it be the looting, whether it be selling the crack, whether it's anything that's outside of the box of God is evil, period. D-evil, get it? Devil, get it? Follow it. That's what it is. No point in shame here. Ain't to be looked upon, and ain't bringing no judgment. But this is what it is right here. If you're not connected by your heart standpoint, then guess what? Hey, everything is going to be taken up. And and like I said, when the clock finally strikes, when the last hour is due, when everything is brought into the main order of judgment, when everything is brought into the last bit of the meaning, this is what it is. You ask, be like the rich guy, be like the rich king, be like the rich ruler asked. He said, what must I do to enter into the kingdom of heaven? Jesus said, sell your goods, give to the poor. And then after that, come follow me. But the man, knowing that his material being was of so much substantial standpoint to him, he was saddened. He was saddened by that. He was saddened by it. It hurt him to his heart. But then Christ comes back to say, it's impossible for men to enter the kingdom of God. It's impossible. He said, but with God, all things are possible. And my friends right here today, and I'm gonna leave you like this right here. Ain't nothing impossible unless you let it be. And then, of course, check it out. All possibilities are your victory. You can never lose. This is the redo, the revisit, grand order of business. And in conclusion, much love to you. God bless. Be strong. Peace.